Hey, good morning. I'm heading back out to the zoo today. A nice 88 degrees here at 9:45 in the morning in sunny South Florida at this time. Off to a nice start as soon as I walked into the zoo. The gibbons were putting on quite a show with their beautiful sounds. I was able to go ahead and pull out the Tamron 70-180 2.8 lens, and I'm really happy that I was able to use that lens because 200 millimeters is not something that you often get an opportunity to use at the zoo. You're always trying to get something a little bit longer. So I'm really happy that I got an opportunity to use the Tamron 70-180. We'll see how I performed on the gibbons, and hopefully I got some nice photos of that. They were swinging around, and we'll see. It was a good test, hopefully. I used the A7iv for those photos. Got a real nice opportunity to photograph the lemurs. Proud of myself because I waited around and waited around and waited around, and eventually they came out, and I think I got some nice photos. I did go ahead and change to the A7 IV with the 100 to 400 millimeter lens for those photos. They were in a pretty shaded area, and I would have loved to have shot with the Tamron 70-180 2.8, but it just wasn't enough range, and I switched to the A7 IV with the 100 to 400 millimeter lens. I had to kick up the ISO quite a bit to try to keep a shutter speed that would be able to stop any movement on their part. My focus box was actually bigger when I started to take the pictures, and I was having issues focusing, so I switched to a very small focus point, eventually move around and step down into the field of grass. There may be an opportunity here, let's see, for a warthog. Not something I photograph often. There's also a pretty interesting orange and black lizard, which could be kind of neat to see how the autofocus does with that. Pictures of the warthogs aren't going to be anything too exciting, but I did get an opportunity to take some photos of the lizard, and it did take off, so we'll see how the autofocus performed. I think I did a decent job tracking it, and I was trying to keep the box on the face, and it looks like one time there it got in between some leaves. We'll see. I did get an opportunity to at least try the autofocus with the lizard. Miami Zoo has been open for 42 years now, and I believe I've been a member of the zoo for those 42 years. Time goes by fast. This area has had a zoo for a very long time. When I was a small child, I used to go to the zoo at Crandon Park Beach, and that's actually pretty neat if you go now, because there's no zoo animals there, but lots of birds and lots of peacocks actually. But anyways, the neat thing about it is a lot of the cages from when the zoo was around back then are still there, and they have some really nice paintings or graffitis on them, and it's really neat to go visit. If you're into going to zoos or animal photography, I highly recommend the Miami Zoo. The exhibits are excellent, no cages. Really a great opportunity here, especially if you want to try out new equipment, and especially telephoto lenses. This is what I mean about the exhibits here at the zoo. You get the animal out there in the tall grass, you could really make it look like it's out of nature. The spider monkey up on the trees. Okay, so I may have spent about an hour here taking photos of the black-handed spider monkey, but hopefully it pays off. You wait around long enough, and sometimes you get opportunities. So I just took a few moments taking pictures of this right here. He's looking at me. Hopefully you can see it on the small viewfinder. To raise the ISO quite a bit because I wanted an aperture. I believe my aperture was like f10. I wanted to get the two of them were kind of close together, and I wanted to get a photo where the two heads were in sharp focus. Took a few more because I started to pace back and forth a little bit, and I figured that's an opportunity to try the autofocus. Just took some pictures of the giraffe. Had a composition there where, again, I had to raise the ISO because I wanted a nice aperture so I can compose a picture where I was getting two giraffes in focus in the photo. Seem to be attracted to flowers on the floor here at the zoo. I think the way they've they're displayed there on the floor, just kind of wilting away, sometimes makes for a pretty neat photo. So perhaps I'll show that in the video. All right, so this will wrap up my day here at the zoo today. I had a nice time. I think I got some nice photos. I guess you'd call this a photo walk with the Sony system, and look forward to sharing it with you guys out there.